Okay, this is my fourth period, Algebra 2. This is Unit 10, Review Packet Solutions and Work Problems 1 through 6. Okay, so solve each equation, give answers involving radicals in simplest radical form. These are quadratic formula problems. So in this case, A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, C is equal to negative 4. So I have x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. Okay, well that means that's negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 plus 16 over 2, which is negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 20 over 2. Okay, well 20 is 4 times 5, so square root of 4 is 2, so that's 2 square root of 5 over 2, which is negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 5. Do the same thing for 2. Quadratic formula. A is equal to 2, B is equal to negative 12, C is equal to negative 2. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Alright, so we get 12 plus or minus the square root of 144. Negative 4 times 2 times negative 2, that is positive 16 over 4. So that's 12 plus or minus the square root of 160 over 4. 160 is 16 times 10. 16, the square root of 16 is 4. Can't take the square root of 10. We get that, and then we get 3 plus or minus the square root of 10 is our answer. Same thing, quadratic formula. First step is get everything on the same side. So I add the 2x, add the 1, I get 0. Then a is equal to 3, b is equal to 2, c is equal to 1. Quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. Okay, well, that is negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus 12 over 6. So that's negative 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 8 over 6. So we introduce imaginary numbers. 8 is 4 times 2. Square root of 4 is 2. We get an I because of the negative over 6. So we get negative 1 plus or minus I root 2 over 3 because everything's divisible by 2. Okay, same thing. Bring the 2 in over, the 3 stays positive. Now it's an appropriate form. A is equal to 7, B is equal to negative 2, C is equal to 3. So we have, in this case, it's N is equal to negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2 times A. So that's 2 plus or minus the square root of 4. And we've got negative 7, negative 4 times makes it negative 84 over 14. So that's 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 80 over 14. 80 is reducible. That's 2 plus or minus 80 is 16 times 5. We get a negative, so there's an I there, so it's 4I root 5 over 14. Everything reduces by a 2. And so I get 1 plus or minus 2I over the square root of 5. Okay, again, we've got a quadratic, but in this case, I need to distribute the 4x first. Then I need to subtract the 15 first. Now, I can use the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. Okay, so I get negative 12 plus or minus the square root of 144. 4 times, we're going to have two negatives, the next positive. 4 times 15 is 60. 60 times 4 is 120 is 240. All over 8. 144 plus 240 is 388. Alright, so I get equals negative 12 plus or minus the square root of 388 over 8. 388, I believe, has a perfect square go into it. It is divisible by 4 97 times. So negative 12 plus or minus the square root of 2 times, or square root of 4 times 97, or 2 times the square root of 97 over 8, and that reduces to negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 97 over 4. Alright, and then we FOIL on 6. So we get 3m squared, and I get plus 11m minus 4 equals negative 9. So we get 3m squared plus 11m plus 5 is equal to 0. Quadratic formula. M is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so negative 11 doesn't change, plus or minus 11 squared is 121. 12 times 5 is 60 all over 6. Okay, and that is now a negative 11 plus or minus the square root of 61 over 6. Alright, and that's it for 1 through 6. The others will follow the next video.